In this video, we're talking about something that quietly makes everything better. Style variables. Seriously, once you get this, your whole workflow levels up. So, what are style variables? Think of them as reusable style values. Colors, fonts, spacing, and so on. Instead of setting them over and over again, you define them once and reuse them everywhere. Let's see how it's done. Here's the homepage of our dentist website. And this button right here. If you check on the right side, you'll see that the color isn't set manually. It's coming from a style variable. Cool, but how do we actually use these? Let's open the Style Variables panel. You can click the icon here, or if you already have a variable assigned, as I do, you can click on it. And here we are. Now, there's a lot going on here, so let's break it down. First up, you can hover over any of the variables to see them in action, no guessing needed. Next, have you noticed how things are organized? We've got groups like alpha, which contains colors with different alpha values. And at the top here, background, which has the background variables. Think of these like folders for your variables. And all of these groups live inside a collection, in this case, the color collection. All right, now let's create a style variable. Click the plus icon next to the collection, or add it to a group by clicking the plus icon next to the group. I'll add one to the collection and name it Other1. Now, something interesting is happening here. The color field already has a variable inside it. That's right, in Mosaic, you can put variables in variables. A little Matryoshka doll situation. But let's say we want to add our own here. Whenever you see a variable anywhere, you can detach it like this. Now, instead of referencing another variable, we're working with the actual value. Pretty cool. Now I can add my hex code just fine. Or if you want to get a color from a picker, you've got the option here to pick one visually. You can also add a short description on how to use it, and it will show up when someone hovers over the variable. Super useful when your system grows. You can set a custom CSS property or generate one with this button here. With Applies To, you can define where this variable can be used. For example, if I don't want this color to show up for borders, I can disable that here. And just like that, we now have a custom variable that stores a color and is applied to the button. Right now, it's used on the custom class, so only this button changes. But we can go further. Let's add it to the element class. Select the element class, then go to the background section, and choose the Other1 variable. And just like that, now any button that is added will have this background color as the default. One change everywhere. That's the good stuff. For now, though, I'm fine with Accent1 for the button, so let's undo this real quick. And go back to the custom class. Now, what if you want to change something about a variable? Easy. All you need to do is open the Variables panel again. Then click the edit icon here. And now we can just change whatever we need, like re-enable the border color. Cool. And just like before, if you don't want to use a variable for the value, you can detach it. As expected, it turns into the color we originally added to the variable. Now, if you want to restore it, you can either select it again or just undo the last action, which was the detach. So far, we've only worked with colors. But variables can do way more. Let's open the style variables where they are listed. You can do this either by opening the color variables here, then selecting the cog icon. Or you can click the cog icon here too and open style variables. As you see, we have our Other1 variable here. But wait, there is a brand variable here too. We didn't see it earlier. If we check it, we see that this doesn't apply to anything. It's an internal variable, meaning we are unable to use it directly from the style panel. But the real use comes from the fact that other variables can reference it, like you see Accent1 here, which is calculated from brand. Pretty nice. If you want to delete a variable, you can click the bin icon next to it, like this. Mosaic asks you if you are sure, so there are no accidental deletes. Great. And whenever you delete a variable, Mosaic replaces it with the actual value. That's why our button here still has the color from the variable. I don't want a custom color here anymore, so let's reset it back to Accent1. All right, now let's talk about collections. Head back to the style variables. You've already seen the color collection, but you can create as many as you want. As you see here, I've got quite a number of them. Inside a collection, you should add groups and variables that fit the purpose of the collection. Keeps things organized. Like in Shadow here, There is a box shadow group with box shadow variables and a text shadow group that has no variables for now. You can add a new variable here too, just like you saw before. But I'll go back to the color collection and add a new color variable. As you see, this is the same panel as before: name, color, and the rest. Now we have the other one variable again. Let's make a new group too. I'll name it others for now. Great. It has been created and added to the bottom. But if you want to move it, you can do that. All you need to do is drag and drop it to the right place. Same goes for the variables, so everything stays tidy. If we try to assign it now, the variable correctly appears in its group. Awesome. Let's talk about modes. Go back to the style variables. If you take a look here, you'll also see options like light mode and colored mode. When you switch between them, your variables update instantly. You can give multiple modes to a single variable, and when that mode is active, the correct value version is used. So for example, you can switch between a light and colored mode for your website, which is pretty powerful. Let's try it in this section here. Under variable modes, switch the mode. And just like that, you can have a colored section. I'll switch it back, but you get the idea. All right, one more thing here. Go back to the style variables. We've talked about the modes. Now let's see one more feature for collections: skins. You can think of skins as variations of your variables. And here, if you drag any to the first position, your website will use that mode or skin by default. So, for example, if you want a different skin, you can drag it to the first position like this. Pretty wild. And of course, if you want the old one, just drag that back to the top. All right, let's make our own collection. Just click the plus icon up here. I'll call this one Image and Gradient. We don't need multiple modes and skins here. And I'll limit the variable types to Image and Gradient and Color. Like this collection will only be available to colors in the Image and Gradient field. Inside Applies To, we can further filter what these variables can be assigned to. So, if I disable the color here, variables in this collection can now only be applied to Image and Gradient. Let's close this and add a new variable to this collection. Call it Hero, and add a new Image and Gradient. I'll keep it simple and grab an image from the media library. Done. Now let's use it. Select the section, then go to Image and Gradient, and choose our variable. We have the Image and Gradient collection automatically selected for us here with our Hero variable, which works like a charm. All right, quick recap. Style variables let you define your styles once and reuse them everywhere. You've seen how to create them, organize them into collections and groups, and apply them to both the custom class and the element class. Then there are modes, letting you switch between different looks like light or colored instantly. Not an easy topic, so if you've got any questions, drop them in the comments. Thanks for watching. And if this helped, hit that thumbs up, drop your questions in the comments, and join our community using the link below. We'll see you in the next one.